Okay, so I am grabbing your attention. Those are eyes on the planets. It's fair to say that for the last 3.7 billion years, the terrestrial biosphere, life, has been isolated on Earth. For 3.7 billion years. We are stepping back, and we are taking a step back, and we are now looking at the situation from a larger scale, okay? So 3.7 billion years isolated in the middle of space. That's the consensus. The thing is, right now, at this very moment, we, humans, are breaking apart that isolation. We are connecting our biosphere to the outer space. This through 4 classes of powers. The first power we do exert is a physical power, the one to exert a physical footprint on the environment. It is the power to send objects by thousands above our planets. They collide, create millions of debris. The 1,000 objects also roaming further in the solar system. Impactors, landers, rovers. We even have interstellar objects, 2 past the heliosphere. That's not the farthest targets we are reaching out with our physical footprint, because we also transmit continuously radio waves. And this, again, is the first time in the history of life on Earth. Our signals are reaching out to dozens of light years. That's physics. We also have a biological power. The one, possibly, this is to be discussed, it's an open question, to seed life beyond Earth. Because none of the thousands of objects we've sent out can be guaranteed to be 100% sterile. First, no protection plan, no procedures ask us to sterilize, decontaminate most of those probes. Only when the quest for the origin of life is concerned shall we decontaminate those probes, and even in that case, well, we still accept a biological burden. In the most strange and special region of Mars, where we have our rovers going right now, we accept, by COSPAR regulation, 200,000 biological spores, microbial spores, on board the rover. So now you can picture these 1,000 objects circumnavigating the solar system, thinking that those might be like arch for microbial life. Of course, we have no ground truth. We have no possible easy objectivation on that. And also, it might be easy not to dig into it, because it has dramatic impacts on the way we perceive our impact. There is another point. Those physical modifications. We do not know right now if life emerges by itself, or it's abiogenesis, or if it has to be transmitted, seeded somewhere. It is possible that through those modifications, because we also impact places, we transfer energy, we bring organic molecules, we might change the prebiotic condition and create the condition for the local emergence of life, or prevent it. Of course, there is always the question of the local life forms that could be pre-existing and that we could be interfering with. So we have a second power, which is the one of a biological footprint. A third power is the one of transmitting information. And now we are speaking billion years ahead when we think of the time capsules that, for example, the Arch Mission Foundation is right now spreading throughout the solar system. We also speak light years away when we envision signals that are being sent in the name of mankind. In 2016, a techno-music festival sent techno-music in the name of mankind, which is nice, I like techno-music, to an exoplanet in the habitable zone of its star 12 light years away from Earth. That is 12 years for the signal to get there, possibly 12 years for it to come back, and it's to an exoplanet in the habitable zone of its stars. Is it okay to let this happen like that, unregulated or even undiscussed? We have a fourth class of footprint, which I call the extended footprint. It's the one dealing with different ontologies. We here around, most of us are Westerners, but there are different ways of thinking. When the Space Treaty of '67 was signed, the consensus was that space should be the province of mankind. But it's reasonable to say that in the same way, Aboriginal cultures do attribute intrinsic value to mountains or rivers, and this is by law being right now recognized on Earth. Celestial bodies and the things upon this might have intrinsic value. Physical, biological, information-related, and extended footprints. What do we do about that? Well, let's modify the cosmos. Let's do it. Let's not do it. Let's prevent people from doing so. Well, let's decide. Or maybe we should not decide. Do we want to seed places to modify the prebiotic conditions? Do we want to interact with pre-existing biosphere? Do we want to reach out to intelligence out there? Well, those questions, we are stepping back. Those are at a way larger scale than our existence, our nations, our Europe, Russia, America. Those are even larger than our species. This is the footprint we are going to leave beyond us, in the solar system and beyond. So, there is a meta question on this, which is how do we decide? Shall we just, as we do now, which is not decide, let things flow and let life find its way? The Earth is the cradle of mankind, it has to go out and reach out the stars. Well, there might be a decision, because it's a very big thing we're talking about. And what is the representativity for this? Well, when you look at people that are conscious about this story, it pretty much looks like that place right now. Not very representative of the human species, and not very representative of all the ontologies around. What are the conclusions at this stage from our panel? We already have two very strong conclusions. There is a need for a long duration, internationally curated registry on anthropogenic footprints beyond Earth. There is not even an exhaustive catalog of the objects we have sent to space at a time where you can track your NFTs. It's crazy. There is not even a registry of the signals we've been sending to the stars. Wikipedia, or some kind of registry, but I mean, it's not serious. And this has to happen at the UN level, because our responsibility stands before our own biosphere and the possibly pre-existing or to be created biospheres out there. It's beyond us, and we need the best level of governance. And this has to happen now, because now Elon Musk is selling the story of a multiplanetary life. He's saying that we are to be the steward of life, and multiple agents are acting that way. So, many thanks. I'm done. And if you want to know more, just scan me, the scan me thing there. You will have a display of those objects orbiting the sun right now. And that's pretty much like the small things on a bit around Earth, but in the solar system, it's nice. Thank you so much.
Merci.